the map of the mill, because there is nothing but dead bodies lying around. Now they've all turned back into humans. In their human form, they also look sort of fiendish in their features. I guess like high cheekbones and you can see the veins through their skin. At least in the places that you haven't already burned or cut open or otherwise harmed. But they do return to their human form after death. Yeah, I believe we did all the looting last time, but then we called it a night, correct?
Yep.
All right, okay. So you find yourself still within this old abandoned mill, which was sort of a headquarters for the demon wolves, it seems. Just a quick reminder, you know that there should still be another set of wolves somewhere in Feldgrau. And those should ideally be not as antagonistic towards you as these have been. And of course, then there is this death cult
Agents.
that has been getting busy resurrecting all the dead bodies that Feldgrau has to offer, which is a lot. Yeah, let's go to the map, actually. So you're still at the mill, which is F9.
Did we see any undead apart from the whole bunch of skeletons?
Well, you kind of see, like, in the distance every now and then you see some movement and or like you hear some noises, some grunts, something like that. So you are sure that there's more out there, but so far you've always been kind of busy trying to get to the next destination, and you didn't really want to. You could certainly go out and scout for undead if you wanted to. You'd probably be successful.
Probably be
Do
successful.
we need to?
But do you need to, exactly? Yeah, okay, so yeah, right now you're still at the mill. One of the werewolves got away. He seemed pretty panicked, though. You didn't get the impression that he has any allies left that he could, get as reinforcements. He really just seemed afraid for his neck. And that leaves you with some options. You still have your prisoner, which the entire battle has just been kind of cowering in the corner. Still has a sort of smug look on her face, even while bound. Almost admirable. This sort of unbeatable sense of superiority that she seems to have. So what are you going to do with her? You're going to leave her here? Do you want to interrogate her? Do you want to continue to bring her along?
Well, this mill that we're at, is it did the werewolves leave anything here, like any supplies, or did they fortify it at all?
I think we haven't checked the upper floor yet.
The upper floor, yeah. The upper floor is basically an open attic. Rough cut floorboards resting on exposed timbers. In several locations, the roof's wooden shingles have already fallen away, so there are plenty of gaping holes. And beneath these holes, the gray, weathered floor planks appear rotten. Half a dozen piles of broken equipment and tools, apparently unused for decades, lie under a carpet of dust, and you see various trampled pathways that reveal recent tracks of both humans and wolves, quite obviously. In the far corner of the room stands a long wooden work table that's covered by an elaborate arrangement of small objects. It looks like the werewolves have scratched several plans onto the worn table, using like small pieces of rusted metal and other rubble to mark the positions of various buildings and ways to get into the tower. It seems that they consider that to be some sort of significant point of interest.
The tower being G.
Yes. The broken windows of the attic also provide a clear view of the town square outside, and something much more disturbing, which is, yes, the grave pit. It's essentially a hole in the ground that has been excavated, and you still see many dead bodies just kind of heaped into it, old, desiccated, rotten mostly. But it looks like there are a lot of them missing. Yeah, and beyond that grave pit, you behold the tower. Want to hear more details of what the tower looks like?
Well, I suppose so. Do we know what the tower was supposed to be? Was it a wizard's tower, some sort?
Well, maybe I'll just give you a description that should give you an idea. It's overlooking the grave pit, and it seems like where the grave pit is now must have been the town square at some point, or a town square. And the tower itself probably once was impressive, but now it's just battered remnants of its former glory. Only the ground floor and half of its second floor still stand, and catapult balls lie scattered about the piles of broken stone and masonry at the tower's base. Of the top of the tower, only a jagged crest of stone remains. The tower's roof has been ripped off, and much of the rear portion lies buried in rubble. From what's left of it, you can discern that this must have been probably a 3-story building in the past, tower of some sort.
What for
A watchtower of some
watchtower
sort.
fortifications?
But today, only 2/3 of it still stand, as I said. Yeah.
Does the destruction look to be by abandonment or by warfare? Because you mentioned some siege, some cannonballs.
Yeah. So the catapult balls lying scattered about seem to indicate that that it was attacked. Yes, it was indeed
So
a long time ago.
yeah. So we didn't have a catapult on the top then, huh? That's sad. Okay. So I wonder what possibly werewolves could want in abandoned fortification like that. Someone must be squatting in there instead, probably. If they were trying to take it to storm it or to take it, then probably something defends it. That's my intelligence 20 points at work.
I feel like we should try to secure a sort of base of operations.
Well,
This mill seems like it might be a decent place to do it.
Oh yeah, I mean, if those demon wolves thought it was a good place to squat, I don't think there is no reason for us not to. I mean, after all, we took it from them by force now, so it is ours now. Nobody.
Evelyn is thinking about her carriage and her hand servant and her horses out in the open, and she's thinking she really wants to try and get them in here if there's room in the mill to just bring them in, get them under cover.
There's probably no room for the cart to get in here. There's no entrance that would be big enough, and you're actually pretty far into what's left of the town, pretty close to the center. So, given what you've encountered outside, maybe they are safer beyond the crest of the hill.
I'm trying to remember all the locations we've marked. F9 is the mill. We were kind of in that open square area outside of F7, right? That was where we encountered the undead.
Yes.
F2 and F3 were the Smitty and Haunted Chandel something.
They were
What's it
both.
called?
Yep.
Chandler?
Chandlery.
Chandler, yeah. Chandlery.
Hmm.
Chandlery.
Chandlery. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um,
And
These colors, not-
F5 is where you found. No, F5 was. Barry, did you check out F5? I think
we didn't actually go in there. We got assaulted by wolves as we were heading towards
Yeah.
it, though.
Hell yeah.
And we did F1, right? That was like an abandoned farmhouse or something.
Yes. And F1, F2 you met Duristan. F3 was the Haunt. F5 you didn't really check out. And I think you found it barred. Yeah. F5 you found the door barred from within.
This
Pretty sure you learned that, and then kind of left it at that. And then F6, you don't know yet. F7, you had an encounter just outside. F8, you haven't gone inside. And F9 is where you're now. G is the tower. F13 is the town square / grave pit. Yeah, and the rest is open for exploration.
we haven't seen F10 or F11 either. Let's see. And I am kind of. I want to. I definitely want to talk to the cultist. If we feel like this is a safe enough place to hunker down for a little bit, I'd like to talk to the cultist, and then I definitely feel like we should check out this building next door since we're right here. F8.
Okay. So she's pretty much at your mercy at this point.
Mhm.
So, how do you ask her, and what do you want to know?
Well, we'll start with politely, and if she's talkative, we'll keep it that way, and if she's not, then we'll ratchet it up a little.
Okay.
So basically, Evelyn will start off by asking her name, because I'm sure that's just sitting there in the notes.
Well, it is part of
1 second, sorry.
I'm looking for an image, actually, so you have something in front of you. There you go. And when you ask her for her name, she locks eyes with you and doesn't flinch, which doesn't happen quite often. I'm sure that most people are probably instinctively try to look away when they meet your gaze, even though most probably can't. But she immediately strikes you as, as a powerful mind, let's say.
Oh, shit,
And-
what did I miss?
nothing.
I
What?
left for like 10 seconds.
What?
I left for 10 seconds and there's a lady with a sight.
She's our prisoner.
Yeah. And so yeah, so she meets your gaze, and you ask her for her name, and she stares back, and gives you a little bit of that aristocratic disdain that you know so well. As she says, "My name, it is Lucretia, but I don't know why that would matter. I have forfeited my name along with my life. I have given it all to the way. You will
Oh.
gain nothing from me. Our work here is already done."
Cool. Based on the name and her general appearance and her bearing and everything, can I make a wild guess as to maybe her origins using my nobility?
Yeah. Do you have knowledge, ranks in knowledge religion, actually?
I do, but not nearly as many.
Yeah. Um, yeah, but okay. Well, you can try both. They're for different information.
Yeah, like obvious nobility. I'm thinking about more like where did she come from? Is she from
Yeah.
Ustalav? Is she
Yeah.
from
Hmm.
a particular region? Uh, wow. And religion.
Okay. All right. So your nobility check tells you, um, you kind of know the type. You know, high-born, but stripped of power because nobility in Ustalav doesn't really hold as much power anymore. She's probably from Califas, or at least she tries to sound like she is. Um, and like I said, you know the type. This the highborn, so highly entitled young lady that grows up just commandeering everyone in her immediate surroundings, but never holding any actual real power, and then starting to dabble into the forbidden. Because it's forbidden and trying to do something bad. So it kind of makes sense to you that somebody would find their way to the Whispering Way from her stature. Says what gives you a little bit of trouble is with your knowledge religion check is to gauge if she's actually if she's actually a threat, or if she actually now holds power, or if she's just kind of playing along with uh, bigger forces that she doesn't really understand.
Mm. Trying to remember what she did during the battle. I mean, she did have spells, as I recall.
Yes, she did.
She did.
And it seemed like she was the one that raised those skeletons, or at least that's the
I mean, they
assumption
listened
we
to her
made.
at least.
Yeah.
Hmm. And how old does she look?
I don't know. What do you think?
Sorry, it's just but I mean, does she seem like someone who's like, okay,
Like this
somewhere
old?
in her that old, somewhere in her 20s, maybe in like early 30s, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Evelyn will kneel down next to her and say, Lucretia, is it? It's a nice name. It's a shame you gave it up. But I understand what it is like, I suppose, to feel trapped in one station. Yes? To feel like one deserves more than what the world is willing to give. Yes, but following this instinct without much discretion can lead one down a dark path, a very dark path indeed.
So, I'm wondering what sort of path it has taken you on. How did you come here to this town of Felgrau? And where do you think that this path is leading you? Because I
The-
assure you it won't be anywhere good.
She tries to shift away from you a little bit and like tilts her head so she still looks down at you, even though you're kind of standing over her.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, I know where my way leads. It leads to death and ruin, and I do not fear it. I welcome it. In many ways, I am already dead. Everything will die, and the world will be so much better for it.
Yes, everything will die. That is true and unavoidable. I suppose maybe that is a little all-encompassing. There are things like gods and deities that, well, perhaps they die, but not on the terms that we can understand.
You don't understand. You don't know what is going on. I don't even know all the little gears in motion. But what I do know is there's nothing you can do to stop it. All of you,
Nothing.
and she looks at each one of you, you're all already dead.
Okay, yes. Well, if there's nothing that we can do to stop it, then perhaps there's no harm in filling us in a little bit so that we can have a more intelligent conversation than just me saying things and you telling me I'm a fool who knows nothing back and forth.
Perhaps we would better understand our fate if you were to clarify it. Perhaps we would even embrace it, were you to tell us.
Surprised. I was told that there were clever meddlers messing with our plans. But you don't know anything about what's going on, do you? She just sighs condescendingly.
I don't think you know what's going on either. You're just
Oh.
one gear in the machine. You do your part, and
I don't need to know. You see, that's the beauty of it. I do my part, and it will all lead to glorious ruin.
Well, perhaps you can clarify this whispering way and maybe set us off on the path. And I try to be diplomatic about it. I know my companions are being more antagonistic, but she's
Alright. Try
yeah,
your
maybe
diplomacy.
maybe she can. I'm trying to seem sympathetic.
Alright, try a diplomacy.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Okay. Well, she pauses for a second and goes, if you're really serious about finding the way, you should start by laying down all of your weapons and submit to Oren. Maybe
I
he'll-
have no weapons, so I'm already one step ahead of you. But tell us more. Convert us, if you will, so that we may die in glory.
Oh, you cannot be converted to the way. You have to find it yourself.
Well, we found you. Perhaps you can lead us. Perhaps this is all part of the plan.
If it is, then everything will happen according to plan. You may kill me, you may not. I do not care. I have done my part.
I have a word. I turn toward my companions.
Yes?
Just sidebar here. I might be able to perhaps be a bit more persuasive in how I. Yeah, I can be a bit more persuasive, but it's not a pleasant way. Not for her, not for me, and it's not what you would consider what a righteous action to do. But if what we want, if what we want is information, then we might need to get dirty.
Yes, since when getting dirty was bothersome to us. Look where we found ourselves in right now.
This is playing with things that even I feel a tad uncomfortable.
Listen, I don't care if you try to boil her skin alive or make her skeleton animate inside your own flesh, but have you heard her? I'm not sure she will find it fearsome. She probably will find it arousing. I understand your reluctance to do what you would imagine enhanced interrogation, but I think we probably should let the mental powers of Lady Evelyn to do the work for us. At least in that case, we might be completely sure in that what we get is truth and not a drivel of a religious fanatic.
We would get the truth with my questioning, but it's not pleasant. But yeah, perhaps we can attempt to continue with diplomacy.
Oh, I didn't.
And if that doesn't work,
I can. Well, never mind.
It's a rest thing.
I mean, I have some considerable would Simon, would you be able to bring I guess I can drag my token out, can I? I can just drop it on the map just so I can see.
Oh, by the way,
no.
Yeah, by the way, I actually have detect thoughts as an extract prepared, so we could try to interrogate her that way. I can actually give it to you to detect her thoughts.
I also have a spell called Seek Thoughts, which I think might be have a little more oomph to it.
Does it?
I don't think it really helps a lot.
Which one?
Seek Thoughts.
See thoughts or
you may scan for either the answer to a simple question, such as where is the hidden lair of the were-rats, or for information on a general topic, such as the beliefs of an evil cult.
But the spell only tells you if someone has the answer to that question. It doesn't tell you the answer.
I would be able to interrogate.
Interesting. I guess I should read the spell all the way through. I mean, I can always just hit her with Charm Person.
Well,
that might make this significantly less laborious.
Sure. Well, I mean, she will be friendly to us.
So?
Do you still have that super dominating mojo that you try to use on Estovian?
Yeah, that was Charm Monster. I mean, I could throw that at her just because it's a higher DC. I'm trying to see what I actually have left that's prepared though. Unfortunately, my token I thought was going to carry over tracking how many of my points I have left from the Mythic, the Mythic power. But
It only does that if I set your new default. So if you change anything about your token setup, you have to tell me, so I can change the default token. But I see it on the other map. It's 2 of 7.
Okay. So I could cast 2 more 3rd level spells using that. So I could try hitting her with Charm Monster. I'm looking at all of my. I have a lot of spells that affect emotions. I'm trying to figure out if there's something I can tweak. Okay, that's maybe a little much. I suppose Detect Thoughts would be useful.
Well, I will provide it.
Okay.
You detect surface thought.
Surface thoughts. Any mind in the area targets will say prevents you from reading its thought. And you must cast it again to have another chance. Okay. And how long does it last for? Up a minute per level. And it requires concentration. Okay, so
So you cast that?
try. I'm well, I don't know. Do you want to do that, Aronax, and I can focus on other spells?
Well, yeah. I mean, if all that it takes from me to just to stare at her and listen to her thoughts, then sure, I can do that.
Just in case I need to concentrate on something.
Okay, then I can. Then I will drink it myself.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just gonna try a charm person on her for now.
Okay.
I don't think her will save was especially high. She got a couple of really lucky rolls.
Okay, so she got a 12 versus the detect thoughts and a 22 against the charm person.
Okay, so I'm staring at her, which means her will save is at -3 right now.
Okay, so that's 9 and 19.
That is 19. Does that beat my? No, my charm. Oh, hold on. Let me make sure my buffs aren't active. Is it safe to? Well, no. We took some time to look around, so I'm assuming any buffs I had on from the combat are worn off.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, let me turn off Evil Splint. Come on. Wow. Why is it being so laggy? I mean, aside from the typical reasons. Okay. So, wow, she resisted the charm person by barely.
Well, you could. Oh no, you can't. I think mythic power doesn't help in this case, right?
No. I don't think it does.
Not.
Okay, so the detect thoughts worked to its full effect. So you service thoughts of any man in the area. Target's reserve prevents you from reading its thoughts. Yeah. Well, you basically just get more of the same. The sort of do with me what you must. I have served my purpose. The deeds are done. Nothing can stop them now. Stuff like that.
Can I hit her with another charm person?
Doesn't the spell description say something about?
Does it say that you can't do it again for like?
24 hours or something
don't
would
see
be
that.
the usual style.
I don't see that now.
It's a bit of a brute force kind of using charm person, but I don't think it's illegal.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, if you have another one prepared.
Sure, I got plenty of I got plenty of first level spells, so I can do this again and again.
All right,
All right, Cap.
there you go.
Yeah.
Second one works.
All right. Now we're feeling a little more cozy. I'm also gonna try another one because actually I realize I've got enough spells left to do this. I'm also going to. I don't want to screw this up, so I'm gonna hit her. I'm gonna hit myself with an intensify psyche spell.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to burn another mythic point to hit her with a spell called Terrible Remorse.
Oh. Good.
Mm-hmm.
The DC of which will be 21.
It's very aristocratic.
Okay, so for the next 10 it's actually very brief. Shoot, I should have checked that description. Oh well, 1 round per level. There's way too many spells that I have right now, so
Target must save or deal 1d8 points of damage plus strength to itself. Okay.
yeah. I'm gonna I assume we have her restrained right now, so hopefully
Yeah.
she won't just be injuring herself, but it's more about the emotion that I'm going for.
She is going to injure herself because I mean she's just going to like contort herself and essentially like dislocate her shoulder or do that kind of stuff to hurt herself.
I think I think she's about to bite her tongue off.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So
careful with that.
first
Careful.
round. That takes the point of damage. Plus strength. Let me check. That might actually be a little bit. Yep. Okay. So
I
first
can
round.
see. I can
Mhm.
see that you feel terrible about this. Perhaps you would care to share more about what you know, since we're on such good terms. I'd hate to see you suffer like this.
Then why I don't understand. Your words and your actions don't make sense. Why would you hurt me like that?
I'm sorry, my dear, but you are only acting out your own bitter feelings for the atrocities you have committed. Please unburden yourself to me. You can trust me.
There's nothing. I need to unburden myself. I feel. And she is, of course, visibly like torn in her emotions because she feels this remorse, but it's not like she actually regrets her actions. It's more of like an abstract sense of remorse, I guess, that causes her to hurt herself. It's not about something specific. And she like says, I don't know why I feel so bad. I've only done what furthered the cause. And she continues to cause pain to herself. By the way, she does not seem to take pleasure in that. So,
That's
the wrong goddess.
By the way, do I catch anything on my detect thoughts when she mentions like that she did what furthers the cause?
No, only exactly that she did her part. Everything's done, and yeah, she did as she was told to. the kind of stuff.
So Evelyn will continue on, and she'll say, "Then, if your part is already done, what is it? What is it that you've done? Surely something must be
He says,
causing you this
just
horrible sensation."
look around, she says. Look what we're doing. Look what we're creating from the victims of an army marauding through this stretch of land, burning everything down, slaying everyone in their path. We're bringing them back, and they will get to fight. They will all fight for him.
For Oren?
Not for Oren. And then she comes real close, and with a smile on her face, she whispers, "For the tyrant." Ah.
Oh.
And then she hurts herself some more and falls unconscious.
Well, that was an incredibly interesting line of thought I just listened to. If I knew that this would end this way, I would probably insisted to do this from the beginning.
So who is this tyrant?
We've heard of this tyrant. I just can't find it on my bloody notes.
Well, I mean,
So Oren is the leader of their little group, their little sect of the cult, right?
That's what it sounded like, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but she's talking about serving a tyrant.
can
I mean,
is how? So I suppose can we just roll knowledge on this because she obviously means whispering tyrant.
yeah.
But I mean, do
Yeah.
we know that?
Well, what have you learned about the Whispering Way? At some point, I mean,
I'm
you've,
not sure.
you've done some research.
We've done research, but I'm not sure we connected them to the Whispering Tyrant specifically.
I remember that you did some extensive research and you got some material from me.
Mm-hmm.
And I am fairly certain that it would have included something about that.
I'm just interested how much an Ustalavian would instantly connect the
Yeah, I
necromantic
mean,
cultist.
obviously, yeah. Well, obviously, the basics you know that. I mean, the tyrant, that can only refer to Tar-Baphon, the Whispering Tyrant, that has left his mark on Ustalav like no other in its history. So that would clearly be immediately a conclusion for you. But the connection with the Whispering Way, that is something different.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the tyrant, that was something like, well, he died thousands of years ago, but that didn't stop him from returning as a Lich King with godlike powers that started to basically conquer the world.
Yeah.
And it was only through a long war known as the Shining Crusade that he could be not even fully vanquished, but only imprisoned in the gallows spire in Ustalav, which is known as like a lonely place in the center of a blasted wasteland that nobody dares to go anymore. The Knights of Ozem are tasked with guarding his final prison, and that's what it's been like for the last almost 1,000 years.
Yeah, I think almost 1,000 years.
Almost 1,000 years, yeah. So it strikes you as quite ludicrous to raise an army for him now. You know,
I mean,
what would have changed?
yeah, well, I'm like the cult when say necromancers can raise an army for virtually anyone they think it will serve. I mean, but I mean, if they like literally want to wake up Tarbaphon, now that's crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
As the cultist lies there unconscious, Evelyn will straighten up and say, "Oh, sorry about that. Hit her with a bit more juice than I meant to. I just meant to inflict a hint of remorse, not a self-flagellation type of remorse. Oh well. But
Yep.
did you get anything off of her Aronax with your?
So did I get anything other from what we got?
No.
So
Only
yeah.
that she wasn't thinking of something different.
Mm.
Like, kind of
Yeah, no,
matched what she was saying.
So while this experience was quite illuminating and interesting, but her thought processes were incredibly straightforward in this regard, and she didn't try to conceal anything. But then again, I don't have much experience with this sort of extract. I think I will be experimenting with them some more at a future time to grow my proficiency with them.
Well, when she said tyrant, was she referring to who I think she was referring to?
I believe so. I mean, who else she might be referring to?
Well, that is.
That is something that we need to put a stop to.
Oh. I mean, we were going to put a stop to them regardless of who they worship, so...
But now it's a bit more urgent. There's precedent.
What do you mean a precedent?
Yeah, you know. Raising armies of the dead to inflict a new age of darkness. One was enough.
I mean, one would think that necromancers do that as a way of living.
To be fair, Geier doesn't consider himself a necromancer. He's just good with dead people.
I didn't mean Geier. Alright. Well, I guess we'll just leave her hanging. We'll leave her hanging here while we plan our next... next steps.
I assume you don't mean literally.
Why not?
Okay. Well, I mean, your call.
Yeah. Hanging, but not hanging.
Well...
Not hanged.
Not necessarily. We're not barbarians. We just, you know...
Just gonna leave her to starve.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great.
We'll just leave her to starve.
The humane way.
Yeah.
Does she seem like she's gonna be out for a while? Like, do we feel like we can safely leave her here and she's not gonna Just kidding.
She's probably not gonna go but there's obviously no really safe place in Feldgrau when you're bound.
What are we gonna do
I mean,
with
if
her?
something else
little prisoner?
gets her in the meantime, then so be it. You know, but
No big loss.
yeah, I don't know, because I don't know if Evelyn would want to just straight up off her. I feel like I don't know if there's realistically any more that we can get out of her than what we already did. We don't know why we don't exactly know the big questions. I mean, we know, if anything, we know the big questions now, but we don't know the little ones. And she's saying she doesn't know all the little details. So, you know, we know they're...
we forgot to ask her about the tower.
We didn't ask her about the tower. We didn't ask her about the heart that they stole. We didn't ask
Yeah.
about the sea sage effigy, why they're so insistent on these things, or even why they went to Harrowstone.
Wait.
So
Well, okay.
Do you want to wake her up?
Yeah, I still have 1 cure light wounds extract. We can just revive her and do it all over again.
Maybe keep your extract and we can use a potion.
Okay.
We have a bunch of those.
Yeah, so you want to bring her back?
Yeah, I guess we'll use 1 Cure Light Wounds potion.
Okay.
would she reasonably still be affected by the charm person or not?
Yeah, oh, right, because of the... No, I think that would be... Actually, you casting a spell that is harmful to her would have already... Let's give her a will save.
It would give her
will
another
save.
save. It wouldn't
Yeah.
necessarily end it instantly. I believe she gets a +5 to the save if she is being threatened by me or my allies. So
Yeah, I think at this point she definitely feels threatened, and
Okay.
she will get another save. Here we go. There's our sheet. Whoops.
ooh, this is a pretty good roll. Yeah, she's ended it.
Right, so she comes to, and she like clearly is no longer in that sort of friendly disposition that she was in, and now she just seems annoyed by everything, and she just says, "Just let me die already. Why do you keep yanking me from sweet bliss?"
Yeah, at this point, Aronax will...
Death will not
Yeah.
be the relief you're seeking, not with us.
Yeah, Aronax probably will just crouch in front of her, look her straight in the eye again, and say, "Well, and now we will do this all over again." And I will try to roll Intimidate.
Okay.
I have +2 because of my feral mutagen.
Okay.
So that would be 18.
And she just kind of scoffs and goes,
No, it's okay.
"You have nothing that I'm afraid of."
Nothing yet. Lady Evelyn, please.
I can do another one here. Let's see. Look, we can keep at this all day long, and I can do all sorts of things to your mind. And this one here, she refers to Geier, can do all sorts of things to your body and soul. Or we could make this very, very simple, and you could just tell us things, and if death is truly what you seek, then once we have the answers we're looking for, we would be happy to oblige you.
She'll cast suggestion.
It's a suggestion being, I suppose, answer our questions truthfully for a reward.
Yeah.
Give us
That's-
give us. She's saying, give us our answers,
Okay.
and we'll kill you
Oh yeah.
if that's really what you want.
Suggested course of activity can continue for the entire duration. Okay.
Honesty would be nice.
I have been nothing but honest.
Wonderful. Yet obstinate. So, let's start at the beginning, why don't we? Harrowstone. What exactly did your cult hope to accomplish there? In your own words.
I am not privy to the purpose of what we acquired, or even what it was. But we performed a ritual. We inscribed some runes, and I believe Oren captured something. Some sort of spiritual essence, I believe.
Yes. Well, I believe this is now one case where we do have more information than you. But I don't think I'm going to share it. So,
It will not matter anyway.
let us see. Lepidstadt. The effigy that was acquired there. You did at least know what was acquired there, did you not?
Yes, a minor pawn. Apparently a trade-in for something much more important.
And the heart of the gray, whatever the heck is it? The werewolf heart.
Already long sent along on its way to its final purpose.
And its purpose?
I do not know. I only know that it will bring glorious ruin.
And once your little band was done raising its army here in Felgrau, what did you intend to do after that? Where were you going with this force of the undead?
We would stay at the ready for the return of the tyrant, and he would lead us into battle, conquer all of Golarion, and
Okay, that's
drown
enough.
life.
So, the watchtower. What's in there?
Where Oren set up his camp.
Is he still there?
I would believe so, since he is overseeing this entire operation.
Are there any more of your cultist friends sneaking around the ruins?
Yes, many of them.
Still just raising dead or something else?
No, I believe that all of us have been tasked with filling in the ranks.
How powerful are your companions compared to you?
They have about the same challenge ratings.
And did you raise those skeletons yourself?
I did.
Out of curiosity.
I did indeed. Until you
You did a
came
great
along and smashed all of them to pieces.
Yes, it wasn't difficult.
Oh,
And similarly, we will smash all of the others that you and your friends are so intent on raising, and we'll probably capture all of your friends. I don't know if we'll give them the gift of death or find something else for them. We'll find your Oren in his watchtower, or who knows, maybe he'll come to us.
well,
But-
good luck.
Thanks. I appreciate the gesture. Emaírel, will you oblige Miss Lucretia?
There is one thing you mentioned: the sea sage effigy was traded in exchange for something else.
That's what I heard.
And would you happen to know what?
I'm afraid not.
Or to whom?
I do not know that either. The riders have long left.
Lots of note taking. Sorry.
That's okay.
One last very important question for you. Oren, how do you spell that?
Sorry, how do you spell Oren?
Is there an I in there? A
No,
Y?
it's an Auren.
Oh wow, I would not have guessed that. Oren.
Oops.
Well, do we have any other questions?
No, I guess not.
Well, shall we kill her then?
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, and I rolled a 1. Classic.
She'll bleed out very slowly.
Well.
Luckily, coup de grace are automatic crits,
Yeah.
so it's the full 4 points of damage.
Yeah. Well, it is full 4 points of damage.
Yeah, which means it is a DC 24, I think, just not to die. Oh, but she failed.
Well,
So you slit her throat,
basically, yes.
and with a smile on her face, life leaves her body.
No, that was incredibly fascinating to hear what was going through her head right now. Can you imagine that she was actually happy right now? Interesting.
I suppose she dreams that she will be resurrected in one form or another, and
Actually, so she survives the first cut, and there's a
she's
there's
not
a
done yet.
gurgling sound when you turn around, you turn your back on her, and
Ooh.
Arronax says like, "Isn't that she enjoys that?" And you hear like,
Oh, Aronax, I think you missed the artery.
Oh. How sloppy of me, I'm so sorry. No, let me fix that. It's
use a
another-
weapon that does proper damage. She still makes it.
Oh my, this is
embarrassing. This is.
Yeah, and it's gruesome.
Yeah.
It's very brutal.
I thought you were supposed to be a.
There's blood
Doctor.
everywhere.
Emaṛēl, please.
Screw this.
Oh,
With a
Claw.
claw.
Wait, where do you get claws from?
Excuse me, where have you been for the last hour? I have been mutated for now.
I know, but you've been using weapons, bombs, so I didn't realize you had claw and bite
I
attacks.
have feral mutagen.
She finally dies.
Yeah, this razor is absolutely inferior to my own claws now.
That was a coup de disgrace for sure. The least graceful coup de grace.
Yeah, this was amateur hour.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Uh,
Well,
Yeah,
I guess I will
Evel-
have to. I guess I will have to practice more in killing people with my own hands.
next time you plan to do that, Doctor, just let me know. I think I have something that you might find interesting.
Yeah, speaking of things that you might find interesting, this is going to be the first of 2 strikes towards one step towards evil, because I think that was pretty
Yeah.
non-good.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree.
For Aronax or for us as a whole?
No,
I mean, we
for
let it
everyone.
happen.
Yeah, let it
Yeah.
happen,
Okay.
exactly.
We weren't like,
And-
oh no, don't do it. We're like, all right, yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to punish you or anything. I just think that should be the logical consequence. And
Yeah,
I'm relying.
there
and
has to be a line, and we stepped on it.
Yeah,
pretty
definitely.
far.
And I'll even leave it to you to remind me of this if another situation comes up that you already had a strike.
Okay.
So Yeah, you play however way you want to play, but I think this was pretty clear a step towards.
Out of curiosity, for doing it or for doing it badly?
No, that's chaotic evil.
Yeah, it should be 2 strikes just because of incompetence.
Yeah. What is it? The way for evil to triumph is for incompetent men to stand by and do nothing poorly.
So, and attempt to do something and just completely botch it.
All right, but at least she's finally dead.
You should work on that, Doctor.
Well, I guess so. um, I was kind of hoping to broadcast first on Mr. I forgot his name. But unfortunately, Emaṛel got to him first. It completely slipped.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's next?
Well, the watchtower now is the base of an evil cult, so we find a way to knock it over and bury them.
I would like to check out the building that we found barred shut. Like, there are allies around here, and I would rather find them before we go into battle.
The other wolves, you mean?
Yes.
The prince's wolves, yes. I concur, and I would hate the idea of launching an assault on the watchtower only to be attacked from behind by other cultists who are out amongst the ruins. I feel that let them remain holed up in there for the time being, and let us deal with the forces that are not so well protected by thick walls and height advantage. Pick them off one by one, and then perhaps make our assault.
Okay. So you move over towards this building, and let's see. Okay. You manage to do so undetected, so you kind of make a beeline for it, staying close to the shadows of the buildings, and make your way over there. Yeah, so you find it the same way you found it before. It's compared to the structures around it, it's in relatively good condition. It's a large wooden shop, and its double doors are barred.
Emaṛel is going to produce his little tiny eye and try to find a crack somewhere to sneak through.
Okay. Yeah, I guess there's going to be either in the door or somewhere in the roof or somewhere you will find a way to push the eye through. And as it floats through the building, you find a total of 6 hybrid form werewolves scattered around. They all look sort of a little bit nervous. They probably heard you at the door, so they're all eyeing the door somewhat. They don't look like the demon wolves. So yeah, they may be the princess wolves you've been looking for.
Okay, well, I guess this is the place. I guess we can always just knock on the door and
introduce ourselves.
Yes, we're friends of the prince.
So you knock on the door and you say, "We're friends of the prince."
Literally, yes.
Well,
Yeah,
basically,
okay.
yeah.
Um. Okay, so first you get no reaction, and then after some time, you hear a careful prove it.
So we have a token of trust from Mr. Zadra.
Which is?
Well, he entrusted us with his scarf. So you can take a look at it.
Okay, so you push it
Well,
under the door, kind of
no,
squeeze it.
no,
Hmm?
I'm expecting them to unbar the door and take a look at it.
They're not doing that. They ask you to show us.
Can't you just smell it from over there?
He's right. It does smell like it. Well, you have some hushed conversation going back and forth whether or not to trust you. What if they're tricking us?
Just
And
shove
then-
the thing under the door.
And then eventually, the door is unbarred and you're quickly ushered in, and it's very quickly barred behind you as well. And you see the 6 wolves, not as impressive as the demon wolves for sure. Don't seem as powerful. More slender in build, and like Emaṛel already learned, they're somewhat upset, and they say, "So you, Ruckus did send you. He was thinking he might. Well, it's good that you came, but you saw the sorry state that the town is in, and all of those weird people crawling around, and the demon wolves trying to get to the heart. We're kind of afraid we're just stuck here for now. So at least as long as Adimaros is still out there. He slew 3 of our number with his own claws, own teeth. Can't risk that again."
Well, you won't be. I believe that particular that particular danger has now passed from this town, and I suppose we show the what weapon did he have, like Bastard Sword +1, right? Oh no,
Yeah.
they all had Bastard Sword +1.
Yeah, but he must have had something.
No, he had the Bastard sword. The others had falchions.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so you show his sword, which is quite distinct, and like the wolves are impressed immediately. They're just, "Oh wow, oh, you did that," and they say, "Well, that certainly changes things. We're so glad you came. We actually stand a chance now. Well, we did manage to do some scouting around town, so there is a little bit that we can tell you." And they take you to a corner in the room where they have also drawn a rough sketch of the town, and they point to the various buildings, and they do explain the following. Yeah, so they point towards the watchtower, G, and they say, "We believe that the heart is here with the leader of these weird, mostly humans that are crawling around town, raising dead bodies from the ground. We also know that here," and they point to F14, some powerful undead creature has taken up its residence. Don't know any details about that, but we could smell it against the wind from afar. We also learned that, and we also stumbled into this one here. They point to F8. When we almost ran into the Demon Wolf's headquarters next door, we withdrew, or tried to, into the inn. But it turns out that it is haunted.
That's
However, give me a second.
When you say haunted, you
F6,
mean
right?
with a literal haunt?
I mean, a ghost, an actual ghost. When we went inside, he seemed locked into his final moments from when the town was overrun, and it was a gruesome sight. He hung himself.
That's
We
unfortunate.
watched him go through the process. we were even able to talk to him, but he would respond, but he wouldn't listen to us. He was just overcome with sadness. There was no way for us to snap him out of it. And once he had hung himself, he just opened his eyes again and started attacking. And we ran across the town square and holed up in here. It seems that he's still bound to the inn. He wasn't able to follow. But yeah, it was a little too close of a call for us.
Does that sound to us like it is a haunt, or does it sound like there's like a specific entity that's taken up residence?
It sounds like a ghost, like the actual
It
creature.
sounds like a creature as opposed.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
The part about actually having a conversation with him strikes you more like a ghost, because a
Right.
haunt would just play out with no
Right,
real
right,
way
right.
of interacting.
Okay. Have you found anything else? Have you been able to explore any of the other buildings?
Well, the rest of the buildings seemed unhelpful to what we were trying to accomplish here. They all just filled with undead monstrosities, and he points to various of them. There's the tavern seems to be full of strange sort of undead hounds of some sort, and pointing to F11. The apothecary might still have something that could help, but we didn't dare to enter. The Gravedigger's shed, and he points to F12,
Where's the apothecary?
F11.
Oh, that's the okay. So F10 is the inn or the tavern.
F10 is the tavern. F8 is the haunted inn. F11 is the apothecary. F12 is the Gravedigger's shed. And
I want to explore
they
that.
say, and they say at first we wanted to hole up in up there, but it's also run over by skeletons. And then you already know about the grave pit, and I think then we have everything. F4. F4 is F4 is well, that's where the demon wolves mauled a cultist. So they say
yeah.
we found one of the cultists sprawled across the floor, terrifyingly huge bite missing from his abdomen. Clearly, the demon wolves had gotten to him first.
And F6.
F6. Looks like this is an old glassblower's shop, but again, I do believe that it's overrun with the undead, and don't think there's anything of interest in there. But if you want to get the achievement, you would check.
And
Yes.
so F7, have we basically already essentially explored that? Was it just the encounter outside?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's done too. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
with the demon wolves now lacking a leader, I think we feel confident enough to go out and take on what's left of the demon wolves and distract the undead. If you want to assault the watchtower yourselves, just give us a sign and we'll do our best. If Rakis trusts you, then we trust you.
Well, I'm not sure we should assault the tower right now, because well, even though we did slay the demon.
Well, we're
wolves,
gonna wait for him to run away.
Well, and my my supply of explosives is running low. Otherwise, I would not hesitate to try and blow the place up.
I have some spells left. I have used many of them, and it seems that Desna's blessings have left me for the day. Perhaps I've tested her favor a little excessively. But I still have some potent capabilities if we wish to continue on, although between myself and Mr. Montiano, we have suffered wounds each.
I suppose it's for the best to go prepared as we can.
I'd say maybe we check out the apothecary, see if we can scrounge up anything, and then decide if we need.
I don't know if we can be wandering around town while there's undead and other werewolves around.
I believe our allies here are indicating that they can.
Yeah, for when we assault the tower. Not as we peruse the remains of the town. If they start fighting, that will
Yeah,
alert
that-
Aaron.
That was definitely what they were trying to convey.
I am of the mind that we are perhaps not prepared to assault the watchtower directly, but we may still find that there is merit in exploring some of these other places, the apothecary in particular. But my concern is that if we do rest, I would hate to think of Aaron slipping out whilst we are sleeping. If perhaps the Princess Wolves here can keep an eye on the tower and assure us that he is not making good on his escape, then it will give us the time to make full preparations for an assault.
So, what's the next destination?
Little siesta.
Basically, I'm suggesting we do the apothecary and then we rest. But if you guys want to do something different, or if you don't think we should bother with the apothecary, or we shouldn't rest, that seems dangerous to me. But
Well, I think at least I can probably survive traveling to an apothecary and still have holy water to deal with undead if there is any inside. So I think we can manage, but that's really would be stretching the resources that I have left.
So do you still want to try it now, or do you want to rest first?
Well, I
Or
don't.
check
think
out
we should-
something else first?
my vote's for the apothecary first, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Okay, but then let's move with stealth. Let's not waste our assault or shock troops.
I mean, we tried to do that, but well, actually, no. Duristan was just hauling us around. Yeah, we can try to move quietly.
And he played us like a fiddle.
That he did.
Okay, so I'm assuming you're taking 10 on stealth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where does it get you?
11 for Emaírel.
Same.
Okay.
Wait,
Sound
what?
good.
Wait a second. For everyone, for myself, that would be 12.
For stealth?
Well, my stealth is 2 with. Although
I got +3. How far does that take me?
I have +3
13.
and I have 3 ranks, but I have. So technically that should be 5, but I have 2, I suppose, from encumbrance.
And Montiano has 14.
So if I leave my portable alchemy lab in the carriage, then it should be 5.
You'll be +8. You have 3 ranks. It's a class skill for you, and you have a dex mod of 2.
So yeah, 5.
No, it's 8. 3 plus 3 plus 2.
Oh, rank.
Or did your mutagen change give you a negative dex? No.
No, it should not. That
Okay.
is my natural dex.
Well, by my record, you have 8 ranks, or a modifier of 8 in
Yeah.
stealth.
That's
Anyway, okay, so, but some in your group just aren't really that stealthy. So you're giving everything a wide berth. Everything and anything you can spot from afar, you're giving a wide berth, which is a good idea to do. As you go to towards the apothecary, this is quite far away. Let's see how far. This is 160 feet. 10 feet is at a -2, so yeah, I don't really need to roll. That's okay. If you're trying to be stealthy at that distance, you're basically automatic success. You do see another lady that is wearing a similar outfit like Lucretia did, but this one is not walking around with an entourage of skeletons, but instead it is leading 2 hounds on a leash, and they look something like this. And they keep like pulling and barking and but she pulls on the leash and she has them under tight control. Quite impressive actually. And they look terrifying. Yeah, and she just kind of patrols the outside of the tavern, walking away from you.
The
But
tavern.
yeah. But the apothecary appears uninhabited, unprotected. So you have an easy time entering, and you find that the desk inside this shop is elaborately carved oak. Behind it, there's a glass case filled with shelves that holds dozens of bottles, vials, jars, and other small containers, all labeled with odd names.
So, yeah, any of those names are still in working order. I suppose we use our perception to locate anything
Yep.
of use.
Absolutely, you can. Go ahead. $24. So you quickly go through the inventory. You find all sorts of leeches and dried maggots and salts and and nothing really of immediate use except for a couple of things. 4 vials of antitoxin and a jar of a magical ointment of some sort, and a small jar of a magical dust of some sort.
I can detect magic on those. I mean, does it tell me more than just that they're magical?
I suppose my knowledge alchemy could cover the ointment. If it, since I suppose it allows me to discern properties of potions and such.
Yeah, let's go with one thing at a time. So no, the ointment is also magic. It's not alchemical.
Okay.
So
Uh,
I
well,
would need checks for anyone who wants to identify it.
or Emaírel could do his weird thing.
No.
Just look at
You're
it.
And you say Geier is always making things weird.
Well, Evelyn
Uh.
can see the magic, but she has no idea what they are. Can't determine the school, I assume.
No.
Would it make sense for Geier to attempt it as well?
If you want to, but I guess Emaírel is just going to use his power on it. What was it called again?
Let me paste that.
Object reading? No.
Something like that, yeah. What is it? Object reading, yes. Should I paste it in chat?
Oh man, this is really a boring ability. Because I mean, then I'm not bothered that you get that you automatically identify magic items. That's fine, but you also automatically identify cursed items. So
Only if
I know, but it is the right level for you to identify it. So you identify the ointment as a restorative ointment, restorative ointment, I guess is the stress pattern. So it's a jar that contains 5 applications, and if placed upon a poisoned wound or swallowed, the ointment detoxifies any poison and removes disease as well. And it also cures damage, although that seems like a bad way to spend the ointment. The dust, well, lesser minds would think it is a dust of appearance, but it is actually a dust that if you cast it into the air, causes those within a 20-foot spread to fall into fits of sneezing and coughing.
That is fun.
It is
Oh, I
a
like
dust
that one.
of sneezing and choking. And that it sounds funny, but those failing a DC 15 Fortitude save take 3d6 points of Constitution damage.
3d6?
3d6 points of Constitution damage. Those who succeed on this saving throw are nonetheless disabled by choking for 5d4 rounds.
Actually, yeah. It's a,
Yeah, I mean, it is supposed to be a cursed item, so you're supposed to use it for yourself, thinking that is a dust of appearance, and then you die.
Yeah.
But because you have this boring ability, you will not die.
Actually, a funny anecdote. I've just been reading a book where a vampire had been keeping this exact thing in his mouth as a pill, and then when he was confronted, he bit on it and blew it into someone's face. Like,
Right, and himself
Wait,
would be
that's from
immune
Dune.
against the Constitution damage.
and yes, he was a vampire, so he doesn't give a shit. So
Wow.
Was that
okay.
actually based on some sort of D20 system, or was that a?
that was Elminster Must Die by Ed Greenwood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was the actual item that they
Yes,
were using.
Wow.
That's funny.
And that was actual like supervillain Manchun, the leader of Zhentarim.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Well, yeah. So the question arises, of course, how can you use this offensively?
In many creative ways.
it's a
No,
20
yeah,
foot.
but I
20
guess
foot
you would have to.
radius.
You would have to have some creative ways because it is a handful of dust. You can't throw a handful of dust at a certain distance and then have it spread.
No, it's like
Right.
you for poisoning some noble at some event.
But you did say it has a radius, right?
Yeah, a 20-foot spread. So
A 20
it's
foot spread.
yeah, it's
diameter.
assumed that you cast it into the air on your square, and then it's a 20-foot spread. If you wanted it to go off somewhere else, you would have to find some sort of mechanism or trigger
Well, gust of wind.
to cast it into the air from a safe distance. But certainly possible.
Well,
I
let-
can't
let-
think of
let- let's-
anyone
yeah.
who is experienced with throwing things a
Mm.
distance and having them disperse harmful materials over an area.
Yeah.
Well, you can't just throw the dust as is, though. That's what I'm saying. I don't think that
like
it's intended to be
bo-
used like that.
bottle it in something.
Yeah,
Just put it in a
maybe.
clay pot. Just awesome.
Maybe. Anyway,
With a
so
bomb.
yeah, definitely that would be something. A sneezing and choking bomb. Okay, but that's what you find. The 4 vials of antitoxin, jar of restorative ointment, and a small jar containing dust of sneezing and choking.
Is anyone else curious about why is a cultist patrolling outside the tavern?
That is a very good question.
Well, just to give you the right idea, it's not like she was guarding the tavern. It's just
She's
that
just
she happened to wander
In that area.
in that area.
Okay.
And the tavern itself is, just as in just as poor of a condition as most of the other buildings.
And it has undead hounds apart from the ones with the cultist.
You didn't see any from the distance. You would have to get closer if you wanted to inspect.
But like according to the wolves, they say that there are undead hounds inside.
Yeah, I mean it's possible that she was inside in the past and is now patrolling. You didn't get a number. You don't know how many hounds they were talking about.
Okay.
I don't know. Do you want to go fight it?
I don't know.
I mean, honestly, the completionist in me wants to go to every single one of these locations,
Oh
but
no, not really.
They are labeled.
And if they're labeled, it must be important.
I
Yep.
mean, we could, but I don't know on how much. Well, we found them, so well, we don't know what they're doing with the heart. Like they could be doing something with the heart right now.
yeah.
Exactly.
But they're also raising troops, and I feel like if we just attack the tower, I feel like these things could all come out of the town and swarm up behind us, or I feel like
I'll be back in 1 minute. Give me 1 second.
I feel like they're probably not going to go anywhere until all of the cultists report back with their army fully raised. And if what Simon said about the grave pit is any indication, there's still plenty more corpses around for them to work on. So I feel like we have the time, unless Oren, pieces out without the rest of the contingent. I feel like we have the time to pick off some of these other forces so that it's just less undead roaming around, less cultists.
I guess so. But we're kind of running the risk of, him noticing that less and less people are reporting back.
Maybe. I mean, you
I
could
don't know.
say apparently they all have their own tasks, so I don't know. I mean, we don't know if they're reporting back every day or something.
I mean, you're probably not going to get teleported away after encountering Oren. So if you wanted to You could also do the exploration after you face off.
That's a fair point. I guess I'm just paranoid that when we attack the tower, he's gonna somehow call all of his cult back and we're gonna get mobbed. But
Sure, definitely a possibility.
Hmm.
But keep in mind the scale of the town.
yeah, it's pretty big.
So even if he had a way to notify everyone, it's unlikely that they all have ways of teleporting
Yeah,
towards him.
it would take 600 feet. I mean, yeah, they could.
It's something
they-
like 20 rounds.
Really, if they're running.
Well, maybe
They
10
can't run.
rounds.
It's not a straight line.
Yeah, well,
guess
10 rounds for humanoids and maybe
Yeah.
more if it's shambling.
Yeah.
Or
Okay,
less if it's those hound things.
Yes, that's true.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I mean that there's a little bit of a leeway there, but it's still a little scary to Evelyn at least. She doesn't like
Yeah.
the idea of things creeping up on her from all sides.
No, and it's also it's totally accurate or understandable because there you have 6 princess wolves as your allies. You've encountered many dozens of undead so far, so definitely outnumbered here. And if they, it's nice that they offered to distract and occupy the troops in town. But you are aware that it's a very unmatched fight for them.
Okay, so they're
Yeah,
not,
they
like-
were cowering for a reason.
They're not feeling like
They were
we can we can
strategically-
just mop up everyone else that's here.
Yeah, they were strategically fortifying. Okay.
Right.
Cowering.
Right. I'm voting for picking off some of these secondary locations, like the tavern, at least. Maybe the undead creature in F14. Maybe the ones that are closest to the tower, like the glassblower shop.
I mean, we might as well. The tavern is right there.
Yeah, we're pretty close to the tavern. We're already in this neck of the woods.
Yeah. I mean, in for a penny, in for a pound.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, and plus, knowing what the hounds are like is still good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, familiarize ourselves with what's ahead.
Okay. So that's what you want to do. Turn the corner and sneak up on the curate and her hounds.
Yes, and maybe we should actually try to sneak this time because I don't think just walking that way is gonna
Mhm.
work for us.
Okay, so how do you want to play this? Like sneak as a group, or let somebody stealth ahead, or like try to surround her? What's the game plan?
I would say discretion, not necessarily stealth, but not like, yeah, freedom.
Yeah, I
More
mean, we
like-
don't want to. Yeah, we don't want to attract a ton of attention. from the
Exactly, but we're
surrounding
not
area.
gonna Metal Gear this.
Yeah, that's just not functional. That's just not a possibility for us.
Exactly.
There's no way we can sneak up on her actually, but maybe we can manipulate the situation to our advantage somehow.
Exactly, just clever fighting, not, charging and screaming.
Here's what I'll say. If there's a group of enemies, I've got a hot new spell that I haven't used yet that I can apply a lovely debuff to a bunch of them. So if I can get them all like come in one general, if I can get them grouped up, I can help with that. And I still have some other, debuff spells on me that I can use on her to try and keep her under control.
Okay. So, question still is: are you gonna try to circle around the building, split up to do that, or what's the?
I think probably the best would be to just pop out the corner.
Walk towards her in a 2x2 square formation.
I don't know if there's really any.
Can we lead her to us? can we keep somewhere with a little more cover, and then she seemed like she was patrolling.
If there's a fresh corpse around, we could use that as bait.
By the way, we did sold the hounds, right?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that giant, terrifying hounds.
Yeah. Would that have been enough to identify them?
Yeah. Give me a knowledge religion check.
Yeah, Evelyn would definitely.
I guess not really. I mean, they're clearly undead because nothing about their appearance makes sense in terms of biology. They're large, like I said. They're huge and terrifying. They're actually large in terms of size category. So we would think that there's some giant creature that was turned into this. But yeah, you don't know.
Evelyn just
Geier.
wants to be somewhere where they can't break through the front line and get to her, or get around behind us.
It's gonna be difficult out in the open streets.
Any like broken down walls or something like that?
Yeah, what about like
Well, you could try to
Like this here.
sneak up towards the tavern and then use the tavern wall for cover.
yeah,
Here,
that's kind of what I'm
essentially.
thinking. Like hug this wall, try and stay behind that corner, behind
Okay.
this corner here, and then
Okay. All right, then let's do that. All right, we'll take you to a map, and then we'll deal with formation and everything. But I don't think we can do the fight today because it's
Oh,
getting
shit,
pretty
they're
late.
large.
and I'm super
yes,
tired.
that's what he said. Actually large.
They are large. Okay, so Evelyn said that she's gonna want to try to stay here. So why don't you everyone move into position, kinda like this, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she'd stay right up. Yeah, she'd keep Montiano close at hand, and she'd probably stay right here so she can get forward and cast her spell as soon as she can.
Okay.
Yeah,
Then what I need is a stealth check from everyone, just so that we find out if it's gonna be a surprise round or not.
Come on, Evelyn. You can do it.
Come on, that's the second 2 in a row.
She's completely average. Montiano.
Geier bumped his head.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, but you're pretty far away from her, so there's a hefty penalty on her perception check.
Montiano got a 16. I think he
So
can.
that's 1 per 10. That's a -9. She has a -9 on -9 on her perception, but because of the distance. But we'll see. Well, let's make it a -12 actually, because you're around the corner as well as at a distance. Oh yeah. She's not going to notice you. All right, so we will start the combat with a surprise round for you next time.
Okay.
Okay.
I love that music, by the way. Gets me every time.
Thank you.
Yeah. Where's that from?
Don't remember.
It reminds me of Arcanum, of Steamworks and Magic Obscura.
Yeah. It's Incompetech is what they're called. They're doing royalty-free music, but like I think with the intention to use it in films.
Mm-hmm.
So they also have like little stings or stuff like you just
Yeah.
heard.
I've heard of Incompetech.
Yeah. And they're included in the jukebox interface
Right.
here. So
Right.
Okay, so you will start with a surprise roll. Let me put a fat note on that map because I will definitely forget.
So now the question becomes, what do we do with cult members that we've captured in battle who want to die?
Actually, Emaírel would have suggested that we keep the first one alive and maybe send her down to town, because if this is something with the tyrant and all, then the authorities need to be alerted, and she would be proof.
Sure, maybe. Fair enough. I feel like, yeah, it's true, but I don't know where we're gonna drop him off and like explain the situation. But maybe we can keep the next one alive. Oh
So,
boy.
I'm curious, as players, had you really not made the connection between the Whispering Way and Whispering Tyrant so far? Or
Oh well,
was that a surprise?
No, we
no.
figured that out earlier. I just can't find my bloody note.
I mean, from the very beginning, you hear the Whispering Way, and you think it's
Right.
probably, this is about undead and spooky stuff. I think it was,
And Ustalav.
yeah, I think